Hello and welcome to another episode of Humans in 5.
We thought we'd pick up on one of our previous episodes that was looking at the evolutionary reasons for some of the most coveted parts of the human body. It turns out that there is just as much interest in why humans have butts as to why humans have such a vast array of breasts.
Much like breasts in human females, many theories around why our butts look the way they do come back to fat being used as an energy storage package. Breastfeeding is really energetically expensive, so for human females, having extra fat stored in the bottom and the thighs makes sense.
There's more to it than just fat tissue, though. Humans get around bipedally, also known as walking on two legs. This means that the entirety of our body weight shifts from one foot to the other, meaning that we need to keep stable as we walk. To help this happen, humans have really large muscles called the gluteus maximus on either side of our legs. These help to stabilize our hips, but as a result of the work they do, ends up bulking out our lower half.
Sure, but it's hard to say how much bigger or smaller something is without another group to compare it to, right?
It sure is. Butts are a big deal amongst our primate cousins too, but for different reasons. Some primates use the skin of their bums as a way to signal their reproductive stage. For example, the skin around the genitals of female baboons becomes a deep red and swells up throughout her reproductive cycle. These are known as sexual swellings.
The size, shape, and duration of these sexual swellings changes with each female and with each reproductive cycle, meaning that it really is difficult to know exactly what they represent for non-human primates as a whole. Males of non-human primate species may prefer females with larger swellings, but research on these preferences shows that there isn't a universal rule when it comes to sexual swellings.
And to be clear, just because the area around the genitals changes, it doesn't mean that all primates focus on are the posterior region when it comes to reproduction. For example, macaques also have faces that become more red in color as their reproductive cycle changes. So it isn't all about butts when it comes to preferences amongst primates either.
As you can probably guess, the butt fixation has certainly reached academic circles, with many researchers trying to understand what's so unique about the human posterior, and more often, why do humans have opinions, good or bad, on the tuchus?
One example is a study by a team from the University of Texas Austin and Arlington and Beirut University. The teams tested the hypothesis that men would prefer women with a steeper curve between their back and their bums, as this would support their pelvis when it comes to delivering more babies. They presented men with silhouettes of women's bodies and got them to select the lumbar curve and consequently bum prominence they preferred. They found that men preferred a 45-degree angle in the middle of the options of lumbar curvature suggested to them.
The trouble is that these results don't really account for biological reality, nor for the cultural influences on bum size. Anthropologist Agustin Fuentes stated this study didn't outline that the modern human birth mechanism is different to that of our ancestors, meaning that any benefit seen from that 45-degree lumbar curvature would be irrelevant for modern Homo sapiens.
And as always, it's really hard to pull apart which parts of our preferences are due to our evolutionary history versus our own development in a specific culture of attractiveness. To put it in perspective, a 2017 study by a team of plastic surgeons found that bum size preference amongst 1,040 plastic surgeons from 40 different countries also associated with age, sex, and cultural background of the surgeons, as well as a specific waist-to-hip ratio.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. These types of studies need nuance. These are the questions that plenty of people are interested in, and it's worth giving them the detailed attention they deserve.
So we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!